Hey, welcome to 3 and 2 Count Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Blaine Arsenal. This is our very first podcast. Our very first episode of a coach's interviews. I got my sidekick today, Jardy Taylor. What's going on, Jardy?
Blaine, calm down, man. I see you nervous. First time, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, but you couldn't have started with a better coach than Coach Duplechain. I'm excited to hear what he has to say. Some baseball's in the air, second round. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the man of the hour, so to speak, Mamou head baseball coach Dylan Duplechain. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, fellas? Appreciate y'all for having me on here. Exciting baseball here, all around. We're really excited for this week and ready to kick things off. Appreciate y'all for having me on here too, by the way.
No problem. Thanks for again though. Let's get into it. Your background, Coach. For people that don't know you, like where you from, playing, coaching, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm actually originally from Mamou. Went to high school there. Then I ended up playing college baseball at Mississippi College for 5 years. Tried to go play some indie ball, but it didn't work out. So I decided to pick up coaching, But yeah. So what's good about it is that I'm a hometown guy, So to be able to come back here and give the knowledge that I was blessed to have and receive from other coaches, it's a great accomplishment.
All good. Coaching staff. Who's on your coaching staff?
So I actually have 3 coaches with me. One is my dad. Growing up, he was one of the best coaches, I think. Especially around the area. He was always great at taking those weaker, talented kids and making them better.
Gotcha.
So I remember playing on his team and stuff, and we'd have BP, and I get, a couple cuts for BP, and then those weaker guys get a ton of cuts, and I was like, Dad, why do they get more cuts than me? He's like, because when it comes down to the stretch, we're going to need those guys a little bit more, So just his experience and stuff and being around with him so long and him knowing me, he was one of the reasons why I added him to the staff. We've been working on some things with him, and, he's so used to that old school mindset. We had to calm him down a little bit. Like, hey, can't do that now, It's that new school stuff, but yeah, so we have my dad. The next one will be Austin Fondo, one of my best friends. I mean, he knows me better than a lot of my family, we like to say we have, like some telepathic energy. When he's at first base coach and I'm at third, we kind of like communicate with each other without saying words. Yeah. So
gotcha.
We know each other like the back of our hands. So he's the next one, and then the last one we have is Jake Hillman. You actually know Jake.
Yeah.
He helped coach us with the junior high football in 1 year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's just a great team player, man. Great guy. He's he was willing to be the water boy, just to be around the program, be around the guys. So he was a great addition as well.
Yeah, you need guys like that you can lean on, that you can trust, that when things get tough, they still ride and die with you.
For sure. Yeah. That was a big part of it too. They like to say, you can't work with your best friends, but I agree to disagree, because I think my best friend and having my dad, those are 2 guys right there that if I'm doing wrong and I need to be held accountable, those guys are going to check me, put me in my place, let me know, hey, you need to improve here and whatnot. They're not always going to be yes man,
Gotcha. So it's safe to say your dad is the reason why you got into coaching?
Yeah. And then, not being able to play anymore, but that still want and drive to be around the game. I mean, that kind of led me to coaching. Uh, I ended up coaching my own travel ball organization, Alliance Baseball,
Yeah,
and that was kind of like an experiment. I wanted to get my feet wet, see what it was like, see if I was kind of good at it, and see if I could, correlate with the kids and bond with them and whatnot. And I mean, from that point on, I knew, that was I think that was what I was supposed to be doing.
gotcha. Excuse me. So, yeah, you talked about it a little bit. How is it different coaching travel ball to high school baseball?
Uh, Travel ball, it's funny you ask that because this year we have a team, a lot of young guys, so they've been used to playing travel ball. And one of the things we've been dealing with this year is I think most of the kids are getting burnt out, because high school is it's a daily grind, really. You got school, you got practice, you got workouts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you got some weekends too. With travel ball, it's you practice maybe twice a week and go play some games on the weekend and then rest up. So for me, I think that's the different part of it, different aspect of it is, I only had to focus on a weekend stretch and then I had a whole week to prepare and, make adjustments and whatnot. I think in high school, it's a little bit more day to day, you know.
Yeah,
Some days you might not have a day to go practice, you got a game and then you got to make adjustments, but we got a game the following day too. So I think that's the difference maker between travel ball and high school.
I got you. Jordy, got anything, Jordy?
Coach, first off, congratulations. The Mamou Green Demons are in the second round of playoffs. I got to go back to this first round series, Coach. You guys took one off the chin in game one, but a resilient group to go grind out two big wins on that Saturday. Talk to me about what you told you guys on that Friday night, and then to come back and win two close ones to grind it out. Every pitch mattered in that second round, that second day. Coach, talk to me about those 3-2 ball games.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And that first game, we go out with one of our better guys, our Miles Perron. He's been our consistent strike thrower all year, and he has to come out the second inning because he's dealing with some arm issues. It's
Yeah.
kind of been lingering all year, but I mean, he came in the dugout. He was tears falling, and we realized we had to make an adjustment from there. So I think that kind of, you know, put a tear in the sails. A lot of kids saw it
Yeah.
and kind of were down and weren't as excited and motivated to win the game. So that took a toll on us, and we hit the ball well. We really did. It was just right at everybody. So, in the huddle after the game, one of the big things was, hey, yeah, we hit the ball right at everybody. They hit some little Texas leaguers, got on base, but baseball is baseball. That today, we had bad luck. Tomorrow we could have the best luck, you know. So, and I think that's what changed the most within those next two games was, our hits started falling, and defense was just unbelievable.
What was the message to the guys after the game? How proud of you were you of that group to go ground out two wins?
Yeah, I mean, I was super proud. A little bit of lost the words, for a young group, we uh, got five freshmen and sophomores starting. Actually, yeah, yeah, and we got one senior and two juniors sometimes play out there. Other than that, it's just young guys all over the field. So for them to, like you said, to get punching them out early, in their first playoff game, let alone away, you know, for them to come back, bounce back, and still have the courage and grit to grind those games out, it it really spoke volume, of what we could be in a couple of years.
Coach, do you go back to the regular season and you look at your district and you think that that prepared you for a series like that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we have talks all the time. I think our district is one of the best, especially in Division 3. You got Church Point, you got Pine Prairie, Iota, uh, and then even Northwest. Northwest,
Yeah,
they'll get you if you sleeping and you on your heels, they'll get you. So for
yeah,
us to be able to go into district and you don't have a game where you like, okay, we could kick our feet up. Oh, they got Crowley too. So I mean, it's just it really is a gauntlet, and that was a time I think we struggled and we hit a wall. Bad timing, but our district really is tough. So yes, I do believe that it prepared us for it, and gave us a look of what to expect and how to fight back, and how to win these games, and how to stick through it 1 through 7.
Coach, you go on the road this week to play the 2 seed ERAF Bobcats. Where's the mindset right now with the kids? Is it everyone's 0-0 at this point? Let's go out and let's go play our best brand of baseball.
Of course, of course. I mean, I say that throughout the season. Whatever happens prior is it's over. It's the past. We can't go back and change it, no matter how badly we want to. Yeah. So heading into ERAS, we're 0-0. We try not to play, name on a jersey or facility wise. We just try to stay level headed. Um, I try to tell the kids, what, those kids are the same as y'all. They go to school. Their parents cook them dinner at night. All that, everything's the same. So don't walk in there, with being worried. Walk in there with a chip on your shoulder, and some of the kids too actually said, we have nothing to lose. We walking in
yeah,
there, we got nothing to lose. Everybody, in my mind is thinking Erad's going to win, and that's fine. But when we walk in there, we ain't got nothing to lose. I like our odds.
yeah. Excuse me. Let's take it back a little bit, Coach. Um,
Yeah,
2024 December. Uh, Obviously, I stepped away other circumstances other than baseball, and you took over. What was your
yeah,
mindset going into that? Just when you heard you was taking over the program.
yeah. I mean, it was really a whirlwind of emotions and thoughts. Um, I kind of had thoughts of doubt at some time too. I was like, am I ready? Uh, is it really time? Like, can I do this? So, I mean, it was a challenge. I'll say that. Getting in there, I think it was 3 weeks before the season started.
It was
Just
like right before
trying
Christmas
to
break. Yeah.
know guys. Yeah, trying to know guys' names.
Hmm.
Trying to have full practice. And I don't even know the kids' names yet.
Yeah.
Uh, so that was one of the biggest things. And then to go into that season without an off-season training, a workout, from me, it was really tough.
Yeah. Because when you first took it over, it was like first day was like right after the Christmas break. As soon as they got back to school, y'all was right at
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to let them get back from, vacation and whatnot. So we couldn't jump in it right away. We had to wait some time, and then I'm like, "Oof, we gotta find positions. We gotta figure out names." I don't even, it was a bunch of clutter all at once.
Coach, if you can take me back to that first day when you first got at the field. What was going on? What did you do?
Well, the first day, I mean, I don't even think we practiced. I had parents come, and we had our own parent meeting. Kind of give them a rundown of who I was, what our standards were, a list of rules and guidelines to follow for the kids and for the parents as well. And then we actually had a team meeting with the kids also, you know, kind of going over the same things. Uh, but when I got there, I wanted to tell the kids, it sucks at what happened. Most of those kids had, I think, 4 coaches in 4 years.
Yeah, I was the fourth.
So I mean,
I
it
think
was
I was the
hard for them
fourth
to,
coach in 4 years. Yeah.
yeah. So it was hard for them, to trust, and I was trying to win that trust over to them.
Gotcha. How about some first year struggles? Like once you got the ball rolling and the season started, like talk to us about the first year struggles you had.
So the first year struggles, especially at the beginning of the season, we were dealing with a little bit of mentality issues. Like I said earlier, those kids were kind of going to the field worried about the name, worried about what their jerseys look like, what their facilities look like, and just playing with the fear to fail instead of playing to win. So that was one of them. The second would be probably the offense. Offense really struggled. We had to play small ball. A lot of guys had to buy into their roles in order just for us to scratch a couple runs. So those were really the two major issues and struggles we had going into that season. But midway through, towards the end of district, those guys kicked it up a notch. They actually started bonding and having some team chemistry, and we ended up going on a streak and was just on the cusp of actually making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think y'all needed us to win that last game for y'all to get in the playoffs.
Was that?
So I think y'all needed us to win that last game to get in the playoffs, and we dropped a 1-0 ball game the last play of the day.
Oh yeah. We and I think we were neck and neck with North Webster, and they actually played a doubleheader. So I thought we got in, we didn't. But like I told the kids, we can't blame it on, if New Iberia would have won, we would have got in, or if North Webster wouldn't have played doubleheader, we lost games that we shouldn't have, and that's why we didn't make it ultimately. So
I got you. Going into that off season where you had your first full off season, how was that?
That was really great. That's what I was actually looking forward to. I think that was one of the big things we were missing last year. So to be able to have those guys, get them going in the summer. You're not going through a whole summer and whole fall without picking a glove or a ball up. We're gonna come in the summer. We're gonna fine tune things up. We're gonna work on development, mechanics, all that good stuff. And then for the fall to be able to, start lifting, getting some muscle on those guys, creating that intensity in the workouts, kind of create that grit. So that was really my favorite part of this season, I think, was to be able to have that off season, train those guys, and give them the tools they need to be able to head into the season.
I got you. Jordy, got in there?
Coach, let's talk about your preparation that leads into a big time series. Going back to last week, did things stay the same, or did you tone things back a little bit going into a big time series? I know the weather's not cooperating this week, so how do you approach a big time series like this week? Is it similar to last week, or is it toned all the way back?
For the most part, I try to keep it, similar to what we normally do. Just that way, so the kids don't get, oh, like this is bigger than a normal game. Like we should go into every game thinking the same thing, whether it's first round, first game of the season, halfway through the season. We try to go in with the same mindset, playing 1 through 7, some clean baseball. One thing we did add this week, I brought the speakers out, put them on behind home plate, had some crowd noise on YouTube and blasted it full blast, and we took defense with it, we took with BP with it, bullpens, everything, just to kind of get those guys, used to that energy and environment, because a lot of those younger guys haven't experienced that. They haven't gone on the road on a playoff game in high school and have the crowd jumping and people with megaphones screaming and hecklers and stuff. So I think that was a little different spice we added to practice. But other than that, we try to keep it relatively the same.
I'll tell you what, Coach, when we did football for Under the Lights wise, and I did Coach Lamb, I did his interview in the preseason, and then I did 2 games
Yeah.
for football. I'll tell you what, that community is something else. I'm sure they're going to be hitting the road and come and follow you guys this coming week, huh?
Yep. Yeah, I sure hope so. We actually had a good turnout in Manning. I didn't realize it because, we were kind of locked into the game. But when we actually won that 3rd game, I heard the crowd roar. I was like, wow, I didn't know we had that many people, travel. And that was, a good 2-hour drive. So to have that many people there it was really good to see. And I think it calms the kids down, seeing everybody there. Hopefully they do the same for this ERATH trip. But yeah, you could definitely see it towards football season that I think this community is making a change. They see what's going on in and out of school and athletics. And I think they're actually starting to buy in and want to be a part of something great.
I do believe the community is backing you guys. When we posted the flyer that we was interviewing you tonight, it was spreading like wildfire on Facebook. So I know the community is backing y'all. Y'all got a lot of support.
And Coach, we want everyone that could possibly be in those bleachers come Friday and Saturday, but they do have an option to watch the game live. It's probably the first time something that's happened like this for your kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I haven't told them yet. I don't know if they know yet, but I plan on telling them closer to time, because I think it would, get something out of them. I think they would see, we're not just small town little Mamou, we're playing, like you said, live. The crowd's going to be, packed. And I think it'll induce those kids a little bit more.
Yeah. Coach, let's switch gears a little bit. Your coaching philosophy. How you go about doing that with your kids?
So I kind of developed it during the travel ball era.
Mm-hmm.
What I try to do is I try to be that coach that these kids can come up to and they can tell me about their home life, relationships, anything they're dealing with. I want them to be able to come up to me with full confidence that and trust, and I always just try to show them that I'm just like them, I don't walk in there and try to stick my chest out and, hey, I'm the big man here. You're going to listen to everything I do. You're going to do everything I say, So, one thing I kind of get made fun of for, and I did it during travel ball, was I would wear the full uniform. I wear my pants, I wear it, everything. So that, when I wear it to practice or I wear it to the game, I'm showing the kids, I'm just like you. I'm putting my gear on just like you. I'm going to go to war with you, everything. So I think I just try to be what they call, a player coach. Just someone they could trust.
Gotcha. Coaching style. How would you describe your coaching style offensively?
Offensively, right now, what we try to do is we try to have quality at bats, and we like to put the ball in play. We're going to try to put the ball in play. We're going to try to make you make errors. We're going to put pressure on you on the base pass. We're going to take extra bases, all that good stuff. So in a sense, we're kind of a small ball offense. I'd probably like to hit the ball around, but that's just not where we are at right now. But in a couple of years, I'd like to be at third base and not give any signs and tell them hit away. But for now, we just have to play small ball. Try to generate runs the best way we can.
Gotcha. What about pitching wise? Like, how you attack hitters and so forth.
Yeah. Pitching wise, we really like to pound the zone. That's all we really try to focus on is, pound the zone, let your defense play. Really big on, I think if you fill up the zone and there's constant action going on, that defense is more locked in. They're not getting caught up on their heels. They're expecting a baseball because strikes are being thrown. And I think that's what made the difference in this Manny series. Thursday we walk the farm and we make errors, and we kind of just gave them the game, and then we bounce back that Friday. We throw guys. I'm gonna go out with guys that's gonna throw strikes. So we put guys on the mound that's gonna go throw strikes, and defense made unreal plays because they're locked in and ready to go.
Gotcha. I wanted to say this earlier. I was actually looking at the box scores of that Manny series, and at one point you had 6 freshmen on the field, 2 sophomores, and a senior. That's remarkable to have a young group like that in a hostile environment such as Manny, which they always is in the playoffs year in and year out, making deep runs, and y'all just went in and, like you said, y'all crapped the bed the first day, but y'all locked in and y'all came back ready to go the second day.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty remarkable what that young crew has done.
Yeah.
I knew they were coming here. I think they kind of, surprised me a little bit at times too of what they've been able to do this season. And like you said, to be able to go in a hostile environment, first playoff experience, get hit in the mouth first game, and be able to bounce back those next 2. I mean, that's really tough for especially an older group, especially a younger group to do. To say, let's put that behind us. Let's go ahead and get these next 2 games and make a difference.
Yeah. I think the last playoff appearance that Mamou had was when you was an assistant coach on Coach Ronnie McBride, right?
Yeah, I think so. That year Coach Austin Fonda was actually on that staff as well too. So we our first round we ended up playing Jennings, and we beat them first round and ended up playing Iowa in the second round, and took a tough loss there. But yeah, I think that was the last time we made the playoffs actually.
Yeah. Tough. I don't think it's a tough question, but what are your thoughts on the LHSA system, power ranking system?
So like the PowerPoint system and stuff.
Yeah, PowerPoint. Yeah.
I think it's fair. I think there is maybe some loopholes in it and some ways to get around it. Maybe jump up higher than most people. But at the end of the day, everybody has access and this, same ways of doing it. So, but for me, it was once I've figured out the PowerPoint system, it made scheduling a lot easier, and then it's just you winning those games. If you win those games and, you don't lose the ones you're not supposed to, you're probably sitting in a good spot. And I think if, me and Coach Lamb actually tallied it up, if we win the 3 one-run games we lost between Rain, Iota, and Cecilia, I think we're sitting at 5 or 6. Then we have a first round bye and second round with hosting. So it has its pros, but it also has its cons because you don't win those games. Now you're sitting at 18 and got to go play on the road.
I'll switch it back to Jordan in a minute, but how you feel about they going away with upsets still going on the road after a playoff win? Because like before in the past, you get a lower seed beat a higher seed, the lower seed get the home field the next round. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I actually didn't know about that until I think it was Coach Jake actually told me. Is that after first round or is it including first round?
It was after first round, I think.
It's all the way through now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the way through now, but before the lower seed
Yeah.
the lower seed would if State U won against Manny, you would have
that's
host E-Rat.
Yeah.
before the
basically.
buys came into play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't really mind it as much. I think if you're in that position at the top, you deserve a home game regardless of what we do.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind it as much.
Gotcha. Jordan.
Coach, take me back to the beginning of the season to where we are now. You said you had a young group. I want to know about the leadership on this team, of how you seen them grow into that leadership role. Did it come from a younger guy or a couple younger guys that really took that role and ran with it?
Yeah. So I think earlier in the year, especially, we struggled with finding some leadership. And I preach to the guys, I don't really mind if you're a senior or freshman. If you standing up and you holding guys accountable for doing the right things, I'm gonna always back you up. I'm not gonna let somebody say, "Oh, well, you a freshman. Why are you telling me that?" No, he's telling you the right thing is to do, and you need to listen. But my dad said this best. He said, "You don't know when that team's gonna make the turn. It could be in the beginning of the season, it could be middle of the season, or it could be at the end." And I think this Manning series was the first time this year that I saw some leadership around the field. I seen, we had leadership, leading by example, but nothing verbal. And I think this past series, I started seeing verbal. I saw guys around the field communicating, telling guys how many outs, hyping guys up when they made great plays, and just letting guys know where to go with the ball on the field. So, and I think it was a collective effort. And they message each other in the group me and they've been telling the guys how much they love each other. So I think this past series was the turning point, and seeing that leadership, and it's all different classes. You got your freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. I think they've all kind of binded and joined together.
Coach, it's not always been like this in the past, but here recently we went to a best of 3 series, and I've got to think to myself, you might like this best of 3 series because you've seen the way you guys rebounded
Yeah.
last weekend. But in all totality, all the way through for a best of 3 series, are you a fan of it? Is it good for baseball? What's your thoughts? I mean, you see good aces out there. You got a shot come game 2,
Yeah.
game 3.
Correct. Yeah. No, I'm a huge fan of it, as you can tell. But yeah, you're right. If we go play Manny and they have a kid that throws 92 miles per hour, and we go play them that one game, that's the only pitcher they have, they're probably going to win that game. But if we play them that one game, go ahead, they beat us, and then those next 2 games you don't really have quality arms, then it gives a shot for you to win. And I was actually pretty jealous of it when I was done playing ball. I think I graduated in 2016. I think they changed it the year after that, to that 2 or 3, and I was pretty upset. But no, I really like it. I think it's great, especially for high school, and I think it's just a format that baseball needs. I don't think, like we talked about earlier, we go that first game and we're hitting line drives, but it's at everybody. And in the next game, everything falls for us. And so that's why I think it's a good format for baseball, because any given day, anybody can be beat,
Yeah. Similar situation whenever I was coaching with Pillsbury baseball. We played Berwick in the second round of the playoffs, eventual state champions. We ran into their ace in game 1, eventual drafted out of high school type of guy. And then
yeah.
So it comes down to those situations there. We blew a 9-0 lead in game 2, so there you go.
Yeah. Hey.
But that goes back
like
to you,
like you said,
kid getting drafted out of high school.
Correct. Yeah. That goes hand in hand with my point. You face a guy that first game, it could be difficult. And for other sports, I don't think it's necessary. You know, you play football and you play a really good football squad. I mean, usually the better team wins out of that. You know, in baseball, you could sneak some out, even if you're not the best team. You know.
Yep.
Yes, I'm no Jordan. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to know before we get there Friday, and the guys are amped up, they're juiced up, ready to go, flying around. Because at this point of the season, if you're not having fun, what are we doing? We're all chasing the same goal. But I want to know what's your final message is going to be to the kids. What do you think the coaching staff's final message is going to be when y'all in that huddle before y'all break off to go play some good baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would kind of, correlate with what we said earlier about, not having anything to lose. Go out there, like you said, if you can't have fun by now, I mean, what are we doing? It's the best time of year, in my opinion. I love the lights. I love to be out there. I love the crowd cheering. I love people heckling and everything. And, for me, I think what I'll explain to the boys is I almost want to be, everybody wants to be the hero, but I think in the situation we are in, I'm good with being the villain. I think we need to go in there, and upset and, hurt some people's feelings. So I think that's the kind of the mindset and, approach that we're having towards this game. Because like we talked about earlier, we're really not expected to win this game. We weren't expected to win last game, but I think the kids are, grasping onto that and having that chip on their shoulder. And, regardless of what happens this week, I think our final message in the huddle will be, we're really proud of what they've done and what they accomplished. And, it'll be an exciting next 3 to 4 to 7 to 8 years to come, with this young squad. So,
yep.
That's why they play the game on the field, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Coach. How long did it take for the kids to really buy into what you and your coaching staff was bringing to the table?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the tough part was I feel like we had to restart. Last year it took about midway through the season for them guys to realize, it took some bad games and some hard practices, and for them to realize, okay, we can trust these coaches. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They really care about this game. And, we hit it off from there. And then we lost a lot of those guys, had a bunch of new guys come in, and I feel like we kind of had to restart that process again. I think they bought in early, but like we said, I think they just got burned out. They weren't used to it. They kind of got mentally drained, and they're starting to kind of pick it up because they know at the end of the day, they don't want to be done with baseball. No matter how tired they are physically or mentally, those kids don't want to be tired. They don't want to not have baseball. So they've been grinding out, kind of, using whatever left in the tank to finish out the season.
I got you. Like we were saying earlier, you definitely I said it last week in the prediction show where I knew you would have them guys ready to play. I seen you from afar, how you coach and how you handle yourself on the field. Mamou is young, but they're ready and they're hungry. And you have a younger group behind them in junior high that's even hungrier than what you have now.
Correct. Yeah. And I had texted you on the side and stuff. And like you said, after we dropped that first one, I was like, man, I can't make Blaine look dumb on this show, man. So yeah, we ended up pulling that one out. But no, I mean the future is really bright, and I'm excited to see what this town and this program can really do, and hopefully it edges our name in some stone, and the community kind of buys in, and that's the regular around here. We're not shocked that we win a first round playoff game, or I want that to be a normal around here, and I really think we can.
Coach, you got a comment in the section from Kayla Amos says, "Go, Coach Duke. We are so proud and lucky to have you as our boys coach. You're doing great for our team." And Brent Duplechain says, "Yeah, tough shoes to fill. He's the real deal. Let's go, Mamou."
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah,
Coach Brent.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. Like we announced earlier, me and Jordan will be at your at the series this weekend against Erat. Any last words for your community, for you guys, anything?
Coach, we're gonna have to do a home game next year.
Yeah, sure.
For sure. Yeah, more than one, because I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be exciting to watch those guys in the next few years. No, I mean, like I said, thank y'all for adding us to this live stream and stuff. And I think it's really good exposure for our program and our community, and just to kind of boost everybody up. Give everybody that confidence, like I was saying, that we are a part of this and we are meant to be here. To the community, I would just say thank you for the support. Like you guys said, that that they got people in the chat commenting and stuff. So I really just appreciate the support, and we talk about it takes a village. It can't just be me. It can't just be the kids. It's got to be a whole village in order to get to where we want to be. So that would be my last message.
Coach, I want to wish you the best of luck this coming week.
Yes,
Great job, your entire staff, and big things are in store for Mamou baseball in the years to come. Keep tell those guys you love them. Tell them keep playing hard. This is a great game.
Yep.
And I know they're going to make lifelong memories. And they got the right man at the job.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it so much.
Yeah. For me, man. Thanks for coming on. I can't wait to get with you and Jake and chop it up a little bit before the game on Friday. And hope y'all do well this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, y'all find me at the game before. Like you said, we'll chop it up.
Oh yeah. Jordan, hey, thanks for coming in last minute. I really appreciate it. You kind of made it easy for me, man. I was, like you said at the beginning, I was nervous. It's my first time ever doing this. So
He's a pro.
Yeah, he is. But
I'm just testing the waters in baseball. This is and I think we may stay around for a while.
Hey, you're doing great, Jordan.
Good.
You're doing great. But you can also catch Jordan at Under the Lights on Friday nights at your local high school football facility. Y'all check him out. Y'all give him a like on Facebook. For us, we on Facebook and YouTube. So like, subscribe, and share. And see y'all guys. Thanks again.